Welcome back to Outside Views. Today we'll be exploring a critical issue facing the United Kingdom as we approach more of time in the year 25, because the closer EU ties are further tax rises. And before we get into details, let me explain briefly why this video is in a broader series I've prepared for you and why I had to do this. Because as you're watching this, I just went through surgery for a tumor, and after which I was in the hospital and now I'm recovering at home. And so for about 2 weeks you'll see pre-filmed videos I've made to ensure that you stay informed. And I sincerely appreciate your ongoing support and understanding during this period, so thank you. And now let's dive into today's crucial topic. Brexit, the UK's departure from the EU at the end of 2020, continues to create significant economic disruption for the country, particularly now in 2025. The UK Treasury, under Chancellor Rachel Reeves, faces substantial challenges as the economic struggles with higher debt interest payments, increased public spending pressures, and disappointing growth. Consequently, the UK government finds itself confronted with a stark choice: rebuild closer economic ties with the EU or face inevitable and unpopular tax rises. The crux of the issue is Britain's urgent need for economic growth. The Chancellor has made clear that she wants to avoid painful spending cuts and further tax hikes, but financial realities might force precisely these outcomes if alternatives aren't found quickly. A central issue is the increased fiscal pressure resulting from rising market interest rates and the UK's relatively slow post-Brexit economic recovery. And this financial squeeze is forcing the government into increasingly uncomfortable economic positions. In March this year, at the Spring Statement, Chancellor Reeves is widely expected to announce painful public spending cuts to meet strict fiscal targets. But these spending cuts alone won't be sufficient to close the widening fiscal gap, raising the uncomfortable likelihood of further tax hikes later this year. You know, it's pre-filmed, so I don't know what she really said in March. The Independent Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, which assesses government spending plans, has already indicated that the growth forecasts for the UK in 2025 look bleak. In fact, projections for economic growth are continually being revised downward, making it even more challenging to balance the budget without either increasing taxes or significantly cutting public services. So how exactly could rebuilding closer economic ties with the EU help? After Brexit, the UK lost frictionless trade with its largest trading partner, and evidence now clearly shows that this significantly impacted the economy. Investment has slowed sharply, trade with the EU has become cumbersome, and businesses face unprecedented paperwork, bureaucracy, and border delays. A return to closer trade relations, such as rejoining the single market or the customs union, could reduce the economic damage caused by Brexit, thereby stimulating stronger economic growth. Even if that would be, there's just such a chance to do that. Almost impossible, but not absolutely. But such growth would create more fiscal headroom, alleviating the need for harsher spending cuts or further tax increases. But let's examine what closer EU ties might look like in practice. Rejoining the single market is fully politically complex, not least due to ongoing resistance against freedom of movement, which was a central Brexit issue. However, joining a customs union or entering more sector-specific regulatory alignments might be more achievable. Not the customs union, a customs union. A customs union with the EU would eliminate cumbersome rules of origin checks and remove remaining tariffs on goods between the UK and the EU. It's true that theoretically the UK-EU trade deal already ensures tariff-free trade. However, strict rules of origin regulations still introduce significant administrative burdens for businesses, leading to higher costs and logistical delays and tariffs in many places. Rethinking these barriers could significantly boost the economy by facilitating smoother trade and reducing costs, although I don't see why the EU should be interested in that point. Additionally, adopting something like the Pan-Euro-Mediterranean Convention could offer partial relief by broadening which countries' products qualify under the rules of origin. This wouldn't entirely remove administrative hurdles, but it would ease some burdens significantly. Yet, the UK remains politically hesitant to pursue a full alignment with EU regulations or a complete customs union. And there's a strong sentiment among Brexit supporters that such moves would negate Brexit's fundamental goal of regaining legislative and regulatory independence. Meanwhile, closer integration with Europe might also complicate the UK's independent trade policy, especially concerning ongoing tensions with the United States under Donald Trump, who continues to impose tough trade stances towards Europe. Politically, Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government faces the complex task of balancing domestic political sentiment and practical economic necessity. While public opinion against Brexit has risen sharply, 55% of Britons now believe Brexit was a mistake, re-entering the single market or the customs union could reignite contentious political battles, even if it's only a and not the customs union. However, with public opinion shifting increasingly against Brexit, the political landscape might now support at least partial economic reintegration with Europe. However, the EU itself has evolved since Brexit. The EU increasingly recognizes Britain's significance, particularly in defense and security amid geopolitical tensions, leading to more pragmatic and cooperative attitudes from Brussels, but still no cherry-picking here, and therefore a mutual desire for more collaborative, albeit limited, economic integration may emerge, benefiting both sides. Yet, even if Britain does move closer to Europe economically, expectations need to be managed realistically. Economic experts warn that the productivity losses resulting from Brexit cannot be entirely reversed. Years of lost investment and prolonged uncertainty after 2016 have permanently damaged aspects of the UK's economy. Even a renewed partnership with Europe would never fully recover these losses. So, while enhanced EU trade relations could help improve economic conditions significantly, they are not a silver bullet. Experts predict that while closer ties might add around 10 to 15 billion pounds annually in additional economic room for maneuver, this is still modest compared to broader economic challenges Britain faces. This sum could help alleviate some financial pressures, potentially softening future tax increases or spending cuts, but would not eliminate them completely. Realistically, therefore, the UK public should prepare for further tax increases or budgetary tightening, regardless of improvements in the EU-UK relationship. And this scenario starkly highlights how deeply Brexit has reshaped the UK's economic landscape. The promises of increased independence and economic freedom have instead delivered a reality of constrained choices, fiscal pressures, and economic uncertainty. So in conclusion, Britain's government now faces a critical decision. Will it rebuild closer economic ties with Europe to alleviate fiscal challenges, or accept a future of persistent austerity and increased taxation? As Brexit's long shadows continues, these challenging choices underscore why many, including myself, consider Brexit a profound strategic error. And I'll continue to explore these essential issues with you even while recovering. So thank you again for your support and understanding. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. I deeply value your perspectives. And until next time, stay informed, take care, and always keep looking beyond the headlines. And the next video is right here in the end screen.